Welcome back, boys and girls, to the Real PG Crypto. Just going to be doing a very short stream today, touching base on some key movements in the market. Start off looking at Beam. Ticker is BEAMX/USDT. We're going to be looking at the MEXC pair. So currently, if we zoom out, we can see that Beam has finally broken out of this range that it has been stuck in. So Beam has been basically ranging back and forth through here, and we finally saw a breakout with the wick here, right? So currently, if we zoom into a little bit shorter time frames, we can see that we have broken out, and now we are retesting the top of this area here. So my guess is that we are going to hold support here, and this will be a RS flip, and basically your resistance is now going to become a support. So if we keep zooming into shorter time frames, this will give us a better idea of what's happening currently. So as you can see, we came down, we touched the exact top of that zone, and now we are moving back out of it. So what we're looking for is this to come and now break the high that we made right here. Get my correct tools. Sorry, guys. Whatever. This right here, this little double top, we need to have this next set of candles make a higher high. So we need to close above these wicks currently, and that will give us enough movement and confirmation that we have retested this. There's a possibility we come back up and we hit it again and we triple top and then we come back down. All these are possible, and again, on bigger time frames, even on the 4 hour, you're looking at a double top. So as of now, Beam is bullish and looking to flip resistance into support. If it doesn't hold, we're going to come right back down into the range, and who knows where we really wind up in the range. We could pull the fib out and just map from swing high to swing low and look at some of the key areas here. So very, very, very heavy action here in the 618 on the Fibonacci we just drew, and then we have a longer term Fibonacci set up, as you can see here, where when we zoom back in also correlates heavily. So we have this little pocket here, right guys? Got this little pocket between the two 618s here. So there's a lot of action in there, and then we also see a decent amount of action along the 382 here. So if we don't flip and start moving up, we're looking for pullbacks into the 2.15 or 2.15 cent area. Otherwise, the pretty much 2 cents on the head area. So anywhere between $2, anywhere between 2 cents and 2.2 cents, it would be a decent entry back in, I think, and looking to retest and come back out the top again. Though I do think we can hold this as long as Bitcoin cooperates and stays relatively flat or moves up. We should be able to emulate that move with Beam. Next, digging into a trade that we started about a week and a half ago at $280. Let's look at BitTens or TAO. I had 560 we talked about in the previous video as the area we were looking for as our first target. So we have currently surpassed that. We hit 600 on the head, guys, and then we turned from there. So let's zoom out to the daily and take a look at what's going on with TAO. So we have very clear wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And then inside that, you can see a pretty clear wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3 starting, I believe. Again, we can zoom into some smaller time frames and count those waves a little more accurately if you choose to do so. One thing I am noticing on the hourly time frames, we are starting to see a little bit of bearish divergence in the oscillators here. So as you can see, the chart keeps making higher highs and higher lows and following this trend up. But when you look on the oscillator, well, we're starting to form like a triple top here, and these tops, don't correspond. We have this up, so if we took this same thing and we copied it or cloned it, basically, I don't know if I can drag it in there, let's see. and we clone, well, we can draw it basically at that same angle. So we'd be looking at something like this, you know, like that. And you see that these triple tops are not matching up here. So we have up in the chart and we have sideways in the oscillator in the RSI. So that is bearish divergence and a likely turn to move sideways or flip back to the downside temporarily. If we come back up to the 4 hour, here, a little bit better time frame for the longer term traders. You can see the same kind of thing, same bearish divergence here. So you have on the oscillator, you're seeing a double top on the RSI, right? Pretty much a double top there. But then when you look at those same areas on the chart, if you come up from here, there's the first spot, and then if you came up from here, this would be level 2. So on the chart, you see you have a big upsloping thing like this. But when you look on the chart, you are seeing flat. That is bearish divergence. So again, we're seeing a little bit of bearish divergence, though I do expect BitTensor to make a move back down probably into this range where the peak of the last wave kind of tipped out, and probably bounce from there. We might roll over again, come down a little lower. We'd again be highlighting these areas of swing high to swing low. Let me correct how I have this. So swing high, swing low kind of thing here. If that was the high currently, and we'd be looking to re-enter at either the 618 or at the 382. So these would be two places I would be looking to re-enter on TAO, and that is very, very, very bearish circumstances that we would see 387. That would kind of, or 450 even, would correlate to if we had a drop in Bitcoin back into the 40K range. You know, there is, guys, you have to remember, there is, with this halving in the cycles, we've seen it cycle after cycle, that 40 to 70% drop from the top. So I could see Bitcoin topping out around 48K here, and then seeing a 40 to 70% drop. You know, that is possible. I really hope it doesn't happen, because I don't want to see my altcoins wrecked again. I don't want to have to sell right now and try to rebuy. But like 40%, guys, ain't no little dip here. So that would take us down to 28,000. I don't see that happening. If it happened, it would be a very, very, very quick wick down, and it would be bought back up immediately, and then we would do some kind of, where's my pen? I would expect something, if I can find my brush, something like this. If we were to make our way down and we broke down, I think we'd flush a wick and we'd come right back up, and then we'd start to trend sideways and back up as the halving starts to become further and further in the past. But right now, there's no signs of any true concern yet. Here on the 4 hour, if we basically hit all this, you can see we're starting to have a little bit of a bear flag, or a bull flag actually right now, forming at the top of the neckline of this head and shoulders. Well, I guess it's not the top, it's the top of the move of the head and shoulders. The neckline is down here. So we had this head and shoulders playing out, putting us up here. So I could, again, my point is I could see this as a top, bringing it back to TAO now. So if we topped on Bitcoin, we would top on TAO as well, I guess, and we would be looking into these areas as areas would pull back, and that would correspond with however far Bitcoin fell. Bitcoin sees 44K again, yeah, we probably bounce down to the 786 area. Bitcoin sees 42K again, we might see the 618. Bitcoin sees 38K again, we might see the 382. Bitcoin goes below 38 to 35K, we can see it flush all the way back down to 240 here. I mean, it's all in the cards right now, but short term, there could be a small turnaround, but I don't know if it will be prolonged and it will play out into a bearish move, or if it's just going to be a small pullback and then run again. Last but not least, and obviously most important of any cryptos we're going to be looking at on this channel, Caspa, my sweet baby. So, Caspa, guys, this thing is an absolute monster. Probably one of the most beautiful charts I've ever seen. Literally, since the 5-cent ascending triangle, guys, we have had some insane price action. So we had the ascending triangle at the 5-cent area right here. We broke out these massive god candles to the 15-cent area. We had a correction. Everyone got super bearish. KAS, was fudding it hard. Oh, we're going to see the 7-cent level, 5-cent level. Oh, we could all the way come back down even under 5 cents. No, we can't, guys. So we made a very, very hard double bottom at 9.5 cents. I made a video about this about a month ago, saying bottom is in at 9.5 cents. Bottom was in at 9.5 cents, as I said. And we have seen a breakout of the falling wedge. Falling wedge pattern breaks to the upside 90% of the time, guys, and generally you'll see anywhere between like a 100 and 200% move off the wedge. So currently, if we remove all the indicators, we're looking at something of a wave 1, wave 2, start of wave 3 up. So either that, or we'd be looking at something of a move up and then an A, B, C correction, and we maybe double bottom back at 9.5 cents again. I really don't. Again, it's Bitcoin dependent, guys. If Bitcoin does see this drop that everyone is kind of expecting, but every day it's becoming a little less probable. And again, it could happen after the halving, even though it generally happens prior to the halving. This cycle is a little different due to the ETF and the ETF inflows. So we might not even, the dip might have already happened. This might have been the dip, guys, when Bitcoin, dipped down into the 38K range right here. That could have been our dip, and that's it. Now we're on the way up. I don't think enough pain was inflicted in the market. I think we're going to need to flush some more weak hands before we move up. But at the same time, I hope we don't, because I want to see my bags go up at the end of the day, obviously, like everyone else. So let's take a look at something else with Caspa. Let's refresh this. So this is the Caspa top addresses. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen this. So we have the categories: crab, octopus, fish, dolphin, shark, whale, humpback, and we have no aquaman. We had an aquaman very early back in the day, but we do not anymore. So what is going on with this? Looking at the amount of people picking up in these balance areas, whether they are buying or selling. So the people holding 100 Caspa to 1,000 Caspa, we're seeing over the last 30 days a lot of selling. Well, why? Because they're small holders, meaning that they're probably not willing to put a lot into the market. They're not understanding what kind of project Caspa is, as they're only willing to put up to $100 when this was at 10 cents into it. And they all sold because they're noobs, and they panic sold. Same thing up from 1,000 to 10,000 Caspa. We saw a lot of people in the last 30 days panic sell. And then you get into this range from the 10K to 100K and up. These are your smarter investors generally. In the last 30 days, they've been buying the shit out the dip, as they should. We've gained 8 new whales in the last 30 days. In the last 30 days on Caspa, guys, let's see what the last 30 days has looked like. So let's go to the date range for the last 30 days from here. Last 30 days. So from price being anywhere from 9.5 cents to 10 cents. I'm guessing none of those whales really bought during this area on the upswing. Maybe some of those 10,000 to 100,000, the fish area, might have bought on the way up. But most people had the bags packed the second time at 9.5 or 10 cents. Every time it dipped under 10 was a good buying opportunity. So KAS right now is coming up and about to be challenging all-time highs. We are currently, looks like we're through the move here on the 786, but we might form a little bit of a reversal here. If we zoom in closer, it tried to reverse heavily here, and then we saw another pump. So back to this. Over the last hour, we have lost one shark. Why? Took profits. That's why. Probably bought 9.5 cents. Probably bought a million of them is $100,000 at 10 cents, right? So that's a lot of cash. So if you had 100K in the project, at least 100K to a million, and you went up from 10 cents to 13 cents, that's a 30% gain. That means you made anywhere from 30 grand to 300 grand. Hell yeah, they're selling for profits. So this is not unexpected in the last hour to see someone selling because they're noticing a top coming in. Same thing in the last 24 hours. He sold even higher in the 14-cent area or the upper 13s. Again, having at least $1 million in the project if he were to have bought that 10-cent region. So in the last 30 days, we have seen a combined 44 people who have added wallets of 1 million plus KASPA in that 9.5 to 10 cent range, showing that that was an amazing spot to load up. And as you move down, you'll see less and less people understood that. Less and less people. Now, a lot of people have bought in this past 7 days, which is great because in the past 7 days, I would like to know, for these smaller groups, how many have bought in the past 24 hours since it's really started moving. You see in the crabs, they start seeing the bias being confirmed, and now they're buying. Now they're buying on the way up. They didn't pack their bags knowing that we were going to go back up, having conviction that we were going to go back up. They waited to see that it was going to happen, and they bought maybe somewhere right here. Maybe they bought right here. Who knows? Most likely, though, at the end of the day, they're going to be seeing if they can hold, which most people in this range are going to be paper-handed. But if they can hold this project, they should be able to see an easy 10x out of it. Easy. $1.30 KASPA, I think that's pretty much all but written in the book already. So KASPA is looking insanely strong, guys. Pushed up again to this high at 14 cents, 14.3 cents, and then we had a strong dip back down to 13 even. Bought that shit right back up, and we are now challenging 14 cents again, guys. I think we could see all-time high ranges by the end of the day. Yes, that is right. By the end of the day, I think we could move into this 15-cent range. Really, again, all Bitcoin coordinate. And on the longer, higher time frames, we are starting to see a little bit of a divergence coming down on the RSI while we're still seeing a little bit of up on the chart. But you can sustain this for quite some time in bull markets. You can really, really ride. And I'd pull an example, but I don't have any examples directly in my head where I can just go to a certain spot and show you. But a lot of times in the bull market, you can be overbought for days, weeks at a time, before you finally see a downswing. And there's been high volume too, which is key. If the volume can stay high, we should be able to remain on a push up. So that's really all I got for you today, guys. I just wanted to look at 3 coins that were interesting to me. Some other ones to make note of, obviously: Solana, Render, Chainlink. That's really it, Bitcoin, and that's really it on this watch list of coins that I'm really looking at. But Bitcoin here, we need to kind of keep an eye on because it's starting to make me a little nervous here. I mean, again, this is forming what looks to be like a bull flag on the 4-hour, but it's rolling over again. It's the weekend, guys. Low volume, very low volume, as you see. This is Friday volume. This is Saturday volume. Weekends are generally meant for sell-offs. So not a bad spot to take profit if you're a trader. Not a bad spot to even take profit as a long-term holder who has not taken any profits yet on bags that you have 2, 3, 4, 5x'd might not be the worst time to take profits, because if we do see this dip that people are expecting, and we do dip to the 30K range, your altcoins are going to get wrecked again, and you're going to be starting from square one. So like if we bring Caspa back up and we drop into the $38,000 range, we're going to see Caspa right back down in this area, if not lower. So pay attention to the charts, guys. If you're trying to actively make some moves here with what is possibly upcoming, stay on top of the news, guys. All very, very, very important things, and may not seem like you need to be on top of it all the time. But if you really want to maximize your returns in this bull run, which very honestly could be one of the largest bull runs in history based on all of the macro factors, this would be one you don't want to mess up. You want to play this one the absolute best you can. You want to be active farming airdrops. You want to be, as actively trading as you wish to be, whether that be day trading, whether that be swing trading, and just, selling and taking profits and getting used to pressing the sell button, guys. I know it gets very tough when you marry these bags if you hold them, from last August or earlier all the way through mid 2025. You've had these bags for over 2 years. It's going to be hard to sell them. It's going to be hard to sell them along the way up, because you're thinking, Bitcoin could hit 100K plus. Why would I take profits at 47.2? It makes no sense. Well, if you're trying to buy back in around a possible 38K, 40K, 30K maybe even, then this would be a great spot to take profits, But we might see Bitcoin just do something totally different and bounce off of here and just take off, for all we know. So you're taking some risk, by selling, especially your Bitcoin. Giving your Bitcoin up is a very dangerous move right now, as the ETF providers they've officially now bought 95% of all of the Bitcoin to be mined in 2024. The ETF companies have already bought 95% of the coins that will be brought into circulation for the next 10 months, guys. Supply squeeze is imminent. These coins going up is imminent. It's just, do we see a drop first? And if so, how far is that drop? And do you want to play that drop as an area to either short on the charts, or to sell your stuff now and rebuy at a lower price, or if you want to just let it ride? Either way is fine. There is an opportunity to make a hell of a lot more money if you want to short, or if you decide you want to sell here and you are holding a decent amount of whatever coin it is, and you sell 20% here, and then you try to buy that 20% back at a lower price. Worst case scenario, we do go up and you rebuy that 20% a little bit higher, and you took a chance and you missed. But it's, again, everyone's risk is different. Do what you need to do and what you're comfortable doing. Definitely don't step outside of your comfort zone right now. This is a chance to make some easy money by just letting the charts do their thing. Don't try to do too much. Don't do stuff that you're not comfortable with. If you're not a trader, don't be trying to leverage trade because you see other people telling you they're leverage trading and showing you these great profits. It's not that sweet, guys. So again, best of luck. Do what you need to do in this market. Stay aware, guys. I'm going to try to be posting as frequently as I can. Whether that's every day or not, I'm not sure. I still want to develop kind of how I want to run my videos. Right now it's very sporadic and spread out and just whatever I feel like talking about. Eventually it's going to be a format where every day is the same, but we will get there. So best of luck this weekend, guys. Best of luck this bull run, and the real PG is